What is up, beautiful people? My name is Lunsford, and welcome back to another episode of Live with Lunsford. Today we're actually not live. This was pre-recorded because the technical issues that we had were just way too many that we couldn't get solved, but we found a workaround, which is to just record it instead of going live and streaming. But with all that said, today I'm having a really cool creator, a really cool mentalist, and we're going to talk about all other things besides magic and mentalism. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my guest to you today. His name is NIKOLAS MAVRESIS.
Hi Tyler, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it, and thanks for all the viewers that are watching this right now.
Absolutely, thank you.
So as you mentioned, my name is NIKOLAS MAVRESIS. I come from a small Mediterranean island called Cyprus, and I speak Greek. So please bear with me. I'm a musician. My main profession is musician. I've studied music composition in England. And yeah, magic is my passion, one of my best hobbies. And I do perform as well. So it's a blessing, really.
How did you get into magic or mentalism? What started you down this path?
Okay. So I've been into magic for about 8 years. I've always liked magic since I was a kid. I've always enjoyed watching magic, like on TV or in person, but didn't start performing until I was about 28 years old. Yeah, about 7, 8 years ago, when I saw a magician performing, right? And he did something very special. Not the tricks that I used to watch as a kid, but he did a mentalism act, and I never seen a magician do a mentalism act. I mean, I remember he did a lottery prediction effect that really fooled me, and I wasn't expecting that. So the next day I called a friend of mine who I knew was doing magic, and we talked, and he convinced me to attend the Blackpool Magic Convention. And there I was, in front of 4,000, 5,000 magicians all over the world. And, my horizons have expanded since then,
Absolutely. The Blackpool Magic Convention is something that I really want to get to go to at some point. I'd really like to go there. Even this upcoming year, I was thinking about going, but now that this whole, the world we live in, the pandemic is just, I don't think that's going to happen. But at some point in the next few years, I'm definitely going to be going over to Blackpool for that convention. I'm really excited.
I mean, we had a blast. I've been going there for the past 4, 5 years, except last year because my wife had our third baby.
Oh, awesome.
So I couldn't go, but the first time I went there, it was overwhelming. So many stuff, so many lectures, so many things to see, and to it was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy experience. Yeah,
I'm sure it was. Yeah, I really want to go. The only magic conventions I've actually been to are the Penguin Max convention stuff that they do, which are the smaller ones, more like expos. But I was actually scheduled to go to my first Magic Live this year, and then the pandemic hit, and oh well. But that would have been really. Hey, but now my first Magic Live, I'll be 21, so that'll be nice. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you ever go to Blackpool, you might go for 3, 4 days there. Then you need another week to digest everything.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Now, you just told me how you got into magic, but how did you get into creating your own magic, and why did you get into doing that?
I will, as I said, magic has been a constant through every part of my life for the last 8 years, and I like to think out of the box, right? And I do perform magic every single day, and I like to think the routines over and doing them from the beginning and trying to adjust little things, and that led to another thing and another, and then I I found myself in a situation that I thought that's a totally different routine now than the original, right? Because I've changed that in order to suit my needs, right? And then, I started creating my own stuff because
Awesome.
I like plots such as the bank night routine, the any card at any number. But there were things that that I didn't like, certain things that were not for me.
Exactly. I
And
understand.
so, I tried to change this and that, and then that led to a new creation, right?
Cool.
So, yeah,
Awesome. Now, one of your, I'd say, maybe your biggest release was Sentimental.
yeah,
Would you agree with that? Yeah. And that was
yeah.
probably your breakout release, right? You'd say.
Yeah, that was my first release actually,
Oh,
and
okay. I didn't know if
yeah,
that was your first one or if that was just the first, larger one. But wow, that was your first one. That's pretty recent.
yeah,
You've still been putting out stuff, so that's pretty impressive.
yeah, yeah. So that was my first release, and yeah, people loved it. I got tons of emails that said how much they liked the effect, and I really appreciate all the love that I got from the feedback. You know, uh, Apparently people like these different card tricks because essentially you get a card trick, dressed up as a movie themed, thing. And
Yeah.
the laymen like these kind of tricks, and I do love them because I get to tell stories about movies. I get to talk about things that I like, and I wouldn't do that with a pack of cards because many people don't like cards. They don't. They're not interested about. They don't know the suits, maybe but most of them they know movies, they know about if you sometimes I went on to perform the effect and I didn't even perform the effect. I ended up talking about movies,
Mm.
what I'm saying. And it's
Yeah, I
something
totally
that
get
I
that.
like to do, because the tricks I like to create are themed after things that I like, maybe food, maybe drinks, maybe movies, anything that I like.
Awesome. Yeah, and if
Yeah.
people who don't know what Sentimental is, I'm actually going to roll the trailer right now. So if you don't want to watch the trailer, that's okay. Just skip a couple minutes ahead into the video. But if you don't know what Sentimental is, I highly recommend you watch this trailer. It's also a pretty funny trailer, and it's really neat what Murphy's did with it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that right now.
I knew where you would stop. I wrote something down. Let me see. Check it out, look. Oh, nice. That's really good.
Hey, was that the thing?
Yeah, it went absolutely insane last night. You're not gonna believe it. It was great.
Okay, so tell me.
I get to the bar and I start walking in slow motion.
Dude.
And then in the corner.
Really? Slow motion? Again? I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
Oh, yeah. So I get to the bar, I'm feeling crazy stupid fine. I scout the area, and I go up to these two chicks. I had one of them think of a movie, shuffle the cards, and without ever looking at the faces.
Wait. Cards?
Yeah,
Movies?
yeah.
Dude, start at the beginning.
Oh, you want to know from the beginning?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so everything started with this guy, and he was like, I'm NIKOLAS MAVRESIS, and I will be creating the best mentalism effect in the multiverse. And he was like, but first, I need the best designer ever. So NIKOLAS found this other guy, and he was all like, I'm Phil Smith. The first rule about designing is you don't talk about designing.
Dude, what are you talking about, man? I just want to know about the performance.
Oh, okay. All right, well, maybe you've seen some of these. So, Fight Club, Memento, Whiplash, Vertigo. There's just a bunch of different movies, okay? So what I want you to do is you're gonna be thinking of a card. You're gonna cut anywhere you want and hold it up against you so nobody can see. Yes? Okay, there should be some cards left over here. Hand them over to her. All right, now look at the card that you cut to. Okay, and now shuffle the cards. So here's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna basically just go through the cards like this. So just think the word stop. Okay? All right. Did you think stop? Oh, I didn't hear you. All right, let's try something else. Let's try something different, okay? Let's try, have you seen this movie?
No.
You've never seen it? Okay, but you remember the name?
Yeah, I remember the name.
Okay, keep repeating it over and over in your head. Okay, I know, cuckoo. So it has to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right?
And the second phase, I have never seen anything like this. It's so unique and incredible.
Let's try this. Look at me for a second. I think I know. And start dealing face up, quickly. Yeah, now, yeah. And then something's gonna tell you, you're gonna wanna stop somewhere. Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. Is this where you wanna stop?
No.
No, okay, keep going. Right here.
Yeah.
Something made you stop in this location, right? You could have stopped here, you could have stopped here, you could have technically stopped there or on any of these, but something made you stop here. Take a look at the card. What does it say? Which one is it?
Rear window.
Have you seen this movie?
No.
No? That's interesting. Let me see.
So then what happened?
We're at the movies.
Then what happened?
Okay, so basically. Check it out, look.
I got it right. Every single time.
It has to be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, right? Is it Forrest Gump? Yeah. Rosemary Baby. There you go.
That's crazy. Wow. Cool, man. Like, I'm like, literally like looking at it.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. There's no fishing, there's no progressive anagram, there's no controlling of any cards, there are no markings. It's so simple to do. And the best part is that once you see how clever the method is, you're just gonna smile to yourself. I'm telling you, it's so good.
So what's the method?
Okay, so it's super simple. All you gotta do,
Oh.
I'll take a sentimental, please.
Actually, I'm gonna have one too, but hold the cheesy trailer, cause you know, I'm a little.
Yeah, I
less
know.
tolerant.
Yeah. Oh, have I told you about the time I wrote that cat?
That was Sentimental, a really cool trailer and a really cool trick as well. And you just heard about how he got inspired to create Sentimental, but you actually released another trick more recently called Celebrity. And that was also with Murphy's. That was a downloadable video. And would you just tell people about, kind of what that is and maybe how you came up with your inspiration for that trick? Because it's a bit different from Sentimental because it still deals with, I guess, some type of cards, but still different in the thing overall. Well, I'll let you go ahead and explain that.
Yeah, as I said, I like tricks that use an interesting theme, and of course, I like movies. I like speaking about celebrities. So I thought of using a stack of celebrities, right? A stack of 30 cards that had celebrity names, and I thought of a very cool way, if I may say so, to reveal what celebrity somebody is thinking of. And it's a hands off. Because I like mentalism to be hands off. I don't like to touch cards. I don't like to fumble around or force, or riffle force. Or I like to say to somebody to think of something, or they do a procedure. They think I don't touch anything, and then I tell them what movie or celebrity they're thinking of. So that was my main goal. I wanted to create something with somebody famous. Now my inspiration for this, maybe I can say Bob Cassidy's name and place routine, where you ask them to think of a place and think of a famous person. I just dealt with the famous person part, right? And you can watch the trailer, and if somebody likes the trick, they get what they see. There's no funny things in the trailer.
No, absolutely. It's pretty much it's exactly like he was saying. You're getting what you're seeing right there. That's what you're buying, and I think it's a cool principle. And I have a review coming out on it very soon that you can also apply to other things. It's not just something that you have to stick to those names that you get already, or those celebrity principle or whatever. It's a principle that you can apply to multiple different other things. Is there something else that you apply it to besides celebrities?
Yeah, of course. And you get a PDF with it, by the way, that explains how to do it with countries, with colors. You can do it with pretty much everything, anything that you can think of. By the way, I have to mention that on the download, when you download this, you get 3 different routines. And actually, the routine I just described is the first one that you won't see on the trailer. But you will see the second routine where 2 spectators think of, one spectator thinks of a card from a spread, and the other one deals down, selects one, and they both find their own cards, and you do nothing, absolutely nothing, they do everything.
Yeah, I think that might be my favorite one from the download, is the one that you're just talking about with the cards right there. That one is, I think that's it felt really impossible the first time I watched it, and even knowing the principle, I still felt like I was fooled because you just applied it in a different way to other objects, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. And then finally, just to kind of not as focus on your creations as much, but the last couple of questions I have is, now you just released Zinner Match as well, and I'll let you just go ahead and just say something about that, and maybe how you created this ESP style effect. And it's just released with Alakazam, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, right? Recently.
Maybe 2 weeks ago. That's my first Alakazam release. And I really love, ESP tricks. But again, I wanted to create something new, something different, and something that feels, hands off. And again, that was my main goal for this. And basically, the effect is you lay down a set of 5 ESP cards. The spectator gets the same 5 ESP cards. They mix the cards. They place them in a row in front of mine, and both sets match. That's it. It's very simple, but I think it's very fooling, for laymen.
Yeah, it definitely fools me every time I've seen it. I still have no idea how it works, and I think it's really creative. I really like it a lot. But just to kind of, like I said, this is the last question about your creations. Do you have a favorite creation that you've put out? One that you'd say maybe you use more, or one that you just like the premise more, or whatever? What do you think?
Look, I have a favorite of mine, and it's close second to Cinemental. Okay, but my next release, I think, is my favorite. The next one, and I'm not saying that to promote. I'm not that kind of. It might sound that like this, but I think my next one is called The Collector. Again, it's coming out from Alakazam Magic on Halloween, and it's a mystery thriller themed trick, right?
Nice.
And it has an engaging story to it, and a very spooky story, to fit the whole Halloween theme. And it's I think it's my favorite. Yeah.
Awesome.
And I do perform it, all the time now.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the trailer for that whenever it comes out, and looking forward to just seeing it. I'm super excited for that. Now, you don't do magic as a full-time career, though, correct?
Yeah. I'm a musician. As I said, I play music. I was playing music 6-7 days a week until the coronavirus hit. Now I do perform on Fridays and Saturdays in a hotel here in Cyprus, where I live.
Cool. So you do stuff with music for a living, and do you see like any type of crossover between magic or music that you can help, maybe something you've learned in magic that you use in music, or something that you've learned in music and you use in magic, or anything like that?
Yeah, I could say maybe psychology, helped a bit. Maybe I've been performing music since my early 20s, no, earlier, and I've been in front of the audience, and that helps with magic, because when I perform magic, I don't have shaky hands. I'm not, anxious about it. The only moment I might, get a bit nervous is moments just before the show, if I'm doing magic, that is, right? And those moments are the most stressful to me, But once I start performing, all the jitters go away, and it's all it's all about entertaining the audience.
Cool. Yeah, that's I totally agree. Entertainment is probably the core thing. Is what we're trying to do as well, entertainers, obviously. But you touched on this a little bit. But could you explain a bit more? Like, how did you first get into music? You said you were what, in your 20s?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, here in Cyprus we have to go to the army, and we have to go, for 2 years.
Okay.
Then I went on to study, music, and then I came back and I started performing.
Oh wow.
I'm not. I thought that I was not going to be a teacher of music, although I have a PhD in composition. But I think I'm not a good teacher, because a good teacher has to have patience to teach music, and I don't have that patience. That I'm not that guy. And my wife is also a music teacher, and she teaches piano, but
Wow.
we're totally different, because I like performing. I like to I play the piano. I like to perform music. My wife likes to teach music. It's
Awesome.
two different things. And being in front of people, and now I'm doing magic, and I don't really care if I perform. I don't. Yeah,
Cool.
it's natural. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Because I know you just gave a little bit of a teaser about that trick that you have coming out with Alakazam the Collector. Do you have any more releases? And you don't have to tell us what they are, but just do you have more stuff planned that you want to do in the future with Magic?
Yeah, I have. Let me see, another 3 releases coming out with Alakazam.
Awesome.
Yeah, and another 2 with Murphys, another one with Penguin, and I think that's it.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of, I think 6 releases. And also, I have to say, I have to, give a shout to my friend David Jonathan, because we collaborated on one effect, and we created one effect, one mutual effect, and I'm looking
Awesome.
forward to share this, with
Wow.
the people. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. They're two of my favorite creators coming out with a trick. Hey, I'm all for that. Now, if you could tell magicians today one thing, what would it be? It could be about anything. It could be about creativity, magic piracy. It could be about inspiration. It could be about, honestly, anything. Performing, entertaining. What would you say?
As I said, I've been doing magic for the last 8 years, so I think I'm not the the proper, magician to give advice. But if I had to say something to a young magician, is to never, steal other people's ideas. They have to credit everything, because crediting is very important. And try to focus on one thing. Like when I started doing magic and I went to the convention, I didn't buy all the stuff. You know, in free that I was looking around, and I was buying stuff. I just went for the things that I was going to perform, and I liked mentalism, right? And my focus was on mentalism. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to be like a kids entertainer and do things with fire, for example. Try to do one thing and be good at this thing, right? Because I see lots of friends of mine now that I see go to the conventions, fill their drawers with magic, and they never do it, because they get excited and they buy. Don't do that. Just think, am I going to actually use this? If you are going to use it, then buy it, but don't go buying around everything that you see.
Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for saying that. Something that I've found relating to that is whenever I'm out buying magic, as a magic reviewer, I either buy a lot of magic or I receive a lot of magic to review. And it's kind of overwhelming when you get all this stuff. So like you're saying, it helps when you can focus more on like one specific topic if you're trying to narrow down your options to a specific thing. So I think that's great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but finally, I just want to ask some kind of rapid fire questions. So we're just you can give me quick answers. You can, no more than 30 seconds or whatever. But I'm just gonna ask you some random questions. They might be about magic, might be about personal life, just random questions. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah, but I have to, I have to think in Greek, then translate to English. So you have
No
to give me
worries.
some time.
No worries.
Okay.
We'll allow some extra time for translation.
Okay. So hit me.
So who are your favorite magicians?
Okay. So if we speak, let's talk about creators first,
Yes,
right?
let's talk about magicians as performers and then magicians as creators, or whatever.
Okay. So there are some very creative inventors of magic out there. David Jonathan, a friend of mine, is one of my favorites because I really like all the stuff he has put out on the market. There's Dan Harlan, of course, who I consider a legend. Right
Oh yeah.
now, my favorite mentalists are Theodore Ahnemann, of course, Tony Corinda, Bob Cassidy, Larry Becker, Max Maven, Richard Osterlind. And my two favorite magicians. If that's the answer that you wanted. My two favorite magicians are Doc Eason.
Okay.
If
Awesome.
if people don't know about Doc Eason, I suggest that you look his Bar Magic set, DVD set. It's wonderful. And David Williamson, of course. These two magicians, they're not mentalists, but I have so much fun watching them perform. And
Absolutely. I
yeah,
totally agree. Especially with David Williamson, just because I've seen more of his work. I laugh every time I watch him. I feel like so much joy every time I see him perform. I just love watching David Williamson
yeah,
perform. And he's doing a master class with Vanishing Ink, I believe, next month.
yeah,
So I'm definitely going to be tuning into that. So that's going to be super
yeah.
exciting. What's your favorite food?
Well, I should say cuisine, right? Because I love cooking. By the way, I like cooking. It's been 3 years now since I started this cooking thing, and I really love it. So I like Italian food. That includes all pasta dishes,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I like Mexican food, then Greek food, and then Chinese. Yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Let's see. What's some more just random questions? What's your favorite deck of cards? Do you have a favorite deck that you use, or do you just stick with bicycle, or what is it?
I like red bicycle cards. Sorry for the lame answer, but
Hey,
I'm old fashioned.
hey, that is not a lame answer. Anytime someone asks me what my favorite deck is, I will tell them it is a Red Rider back of bicycle cards.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
No, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, it's what, like, you can get magic gimmicks in. It's all sorts. You don't have to worry about making custom gimmicks. Like, I love me some Red Rider back cards. They're what I started with, and it's what I'm going to keep using. I love them.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Definitely not a lame answer there. Do you have a favorite card?
Yeah, I have a favorite card, and there's a story about this as well.
Oh, well, let's hear it.
Yeah, it's not too long. I use a memorized deck, right? And when I started learning a memorized deck, I used the Tamaris stack, right? The mnemonica. So I thought, okay, how I learn the stack, and I started thinking, okay, I was born on the 29th of June. So the 29th card in the stack is the Eight of Diamonds. So Eight of Diamonds became my favorite card because I remember each time I remember 29, I know it's my favorite card.
That's awesome. That's a great way to remember it. Do you do any? I mean, I guess do you use that same stack now, or do you do any stack work regularly, or what's your opinion on that?
I love, I love stack work, and I didn't change the stack because it took 3-4 days to learn. It's not that hard. People think that it's very hard to learn a stack. It's not. Trust me. And I sat down with a magician friend of mine, and I taught him the first 12 cards, and within 2 minutes, he remembered all 12 cards, and then he went on to learn the stack. I always carry a mnemonica with me, and I always use a cream card to the bottom.
Oh yeah.
If people know about any memory work, and any memorized deck stuff, they will know why I do that. In order to retain the top card every time I want to, I might do a false shuffle and I want to cut. I always find the cream card and I cut it. And it's very, with a memorized deck, you can do so many stuff that you cannot do with a normal deck,
Very true.
right? I mean, I created a routine. Actually, I created an ebook with. I don't sell it, but I'm planning to in the near future. I might,
Awesome.
release it. But there's a trick where three spectators look at the card. They shuffle their packets while your pack is turned, right? And they place them in their pockets. You tell them what cards they're thinking of, and on the last spectator, you not only tell them what card they are thinking of, you tell them how many cards are in their pocket. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
you cannot do that with a normal deck of cards.
Yeah. But
Right.
but I mean, luckily, if you're using a stacked deck, it is totally examinable like by the end of it, because I mean, a spectator's not really going to know a stack, and if they're shuffling them, they can still inspect all that stuff afterwards.
No, no, no. Even if they don't shuffle the deck and a memorized deck like a mnemonica or an Aronson stack, they
Yep.
cannot find any pattern
Exactly.
inside the deck. It's
Exactly.
not like size settings where there's one red, one black, one red, one black, and it's not
Yep. Yeah.
nothing like that.
Very true. Very true. And the final question. This is absolutely random as well. If you could go any place in the world, where would it be? Any city?
We we talked about this
We did.
before,
We
yeah,
were talking about this earlier.
yeah. It has to be New York because I haven't been there, and I've traveled, to so many countries, almost whole Europe. I've been to Spain, to Italy, to France, Greece, almost everywhere. But I've never been to the States, so it's something that I want to do. Yeah.
Awesome. Just so that way people can find you after this video, where could they find you at? Like any social media, Instagram, or your next releases? Like where are they at? Where can they find you? More about you.
Yeah, we talked about the next release. It's coming out in maybe 1 month from now. It's called The Collector, and they are going to find this through Alakazam Magic
Cool.
UK. And yeah, social media, it's my name, NIKOLAS MAVRESIS. If you can put, a link below so that
Absolutely.
it's
A
going
link
to,
will be in the
yeah.
description so that way people can find you if they need to. I just want to thank you so much for being here, Nicholas. It really does mean a lot to me that you came on the show, and you're the first ever non-live Live with Lunsford guest. So that should,
Yeah.
there's something cool. And you're
Yeah.
also the first ever like 4 or 5 time guest on Live with Lunsford. So that's cool.
I mean, yeah, that's a first for me as well. So yeah, I'm
Awesome.
honored.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. And I'll let you go ahead and run. So I'll see you later, man.
Thanks so much, man.
That was this episode of Live with Lunsford, or well, non-live with Lunsford. But thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully you'll tune in to the next Magic Review or Level Up or Magician News or whatever video it is that I upload next. And hopefully I'll see you there. So see ya.